What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I am finally back to review a little bit more of Zatima. So, this will be a review for episodes 3 through 6, I believe. And then I'll finish out the series after that. I'll post that video right after this one. Um, I'm not going to go in any particular order, and I'm not going to try to go, scene by scene because I'm just going to go overall what has happened in these episodes. First, starting off, Zach getting off with the SEC. First off, I could not take the lady serious. I think her was Heather or something like that, who was supposed to be from the SEC. Like, I hate the way she was talking to Zach, and the fact that he was basically giving her answers that were too well. They were too good of some answers. Um, and she had nothing on him. I'm like, okay, great. Let's be done with that whole SEC thing so we don't have to circle back to this situation, even though she did say that this case was only closed until she finds evidence that Zach is actually doing something illegal. But nonetheless, she's finally done with that. We're done. Cool. Here's my thing. Let's jump on over to Bryce. Y'all, I like Bryce's character. He seems like a really nice guy, but I'm kind of over him. And let me tell you why. Because, first off, he is a really nice guy, but I feel like he's too nice. And the fact that at some point he wants to go into business with Zach, and then they went on a jog, and Zach had found another property that he wanted to possibly flip, which I'm like, okay, cool. Zach is really trying to do this real estate thing. And he's like, oh, I know the realtor. I'll hook you up with her. Next thing you know, the realtor is popping up and flirting with Zach. I'm like, what is this? Like, this isn't Bryce's fault that the realtor popped up and was flirting with Zach, but I'm just like, it's weird how friendly Bryce is, and I guess it's because I'm comparing him to Zach's other friends, which we will get to Nate and Tony, because I don't like either one of them. Tony is but that damn Nate, absolutely not. But nonetheless, back to this realtor. My whole thing is this: Zach trusts people way too soon. I feel like there's no way you just met this realtor. I understand that you met her through Bryce, but you still don't know her. For you to allow her to be like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and run the papers for this, and let me see if I can find you a tenant, all this stuff, like, that was moving a little bit fast for me, but nonetheless, Zach, he likes the realtor lady. I think her name is, what was her name? Vanessa? I could be wrong. Hold on. Actually, I think it may be Valerie. Maybe her name is Valerie. Yeah, that sound right. So Valerie is the realtor, and she's going to suggest a young lady by the name of Deja to be his tenant. We'll get to Deja because Deja is a lot, and Deja pops up a few times. Um, Here's the thing. Can we get to Belinda? I know I'm all over the place with this review, but I'm just on here chatting. Belinda is a hot mess. With a friend like Belinda, you do not need enemies. The fact that she sat up there and apologized to Fatima in her own house, as well as even when Fatima went to go get her hair done and all this stuff, she acted like they were good friends. And they were not. Oh my gosh, you guys, that scene where Fatima went to go get her hair done, and then everybody at the freaking hair salon is talking about her and Zach, and how Belinda is basically ready to push up on her own best friend's man. Are you kidding me? And my thing about Angela, I like Angela's character, but I feel like she's too nice. Like, when Belinda was talking about even pushing up on Zach or doing anything with Zach, you should have been like, really, you gonna do that to Fatima like that? Like, that's our homegirl. Why are you talking like this at a hair salon where it's just being messy? But yeah, like I said, I like Angela, but I just want her to speak up a little bit more, especially when she sees people being trifling around her. The fact that Fatima actually sat there and thought about how old girl might be going over to Zach's house, Belinda, and then she left her hair appointment, blows my mind. Because I probably would not have left my hair appointment. I'm just saying. Sometimes it takes a minute to get an appointment, especially nowadays with these new hairstylists. But nonetheless, this is a TV show. All right, so here's the crazy part. Valerie came over to Zach's place to tell him about how everything checked out, blase blah, whatever. Now they're probably going to work together. Okay, cool, whatever. As she's leaving, you have Belinda coming in, and Zach told her straight up, Fatima's not here right now. You can come back when she's here, whatever. Baby girl starts unbuttoning her shirt. She's really trying to put it on thick on Zach, and Zach is like, no, I don't want you. I don't want you. Fatima not here. Leave me alone. Baby boy ran up the stairs. And here's the crazy part. I did not realize that the way Tyler Perry set up their house is that when you go upstairs, it's right into their bedroom. That's super weird considering how big that house is. But I digress. So when he got upstairs, Fatima was sitting on that bed and she was pissed. And then the fact that Belinda came upstairs and was like, girl, I was just testing him. You see how trifling he is? He was coming on to me. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I can't lie, you guys. This was probably one of the best storylines that Tyler Perry has written in a while. If I'm comparing it to the storylines of Sistas and the pace of Sistas, this is probably one of the better storylines that he's written within this Zatima universe. So at this point, we have Fatima going through a lot of emotions. Not only is she able to see how her man would react to these type of situations, but she's realizing that her best friend is not her best friend. Belinda does not have her best interests at heart. Belinda isn't loyal. Belinda is trifling. And of course, in typical Tyler Perry fashion, we're going to have what's her name? Fatima get her gat, and of course she shoots it. Nobody got shot. It was basically a warning shot. And in that moment, I felt so bad for Fatima because she literally lost her best friend over a man. Like, it's one thing for you to have a falling out with your best friend over something that's like over money, over you know, anything else. But the fact that she fell out with her best friend because Belinda could not get over Zach, she was obsessed with him, and the fact that Belinda actually timed out how long it was going to take Fatima to get her hair done at the salon, that is absolutely crazy. And there is no coming back from that. Like, that friendship is done. So here's the part that got me though. When Angela showed up to Fatima's house, well, Fatima is Zach's house, um, she literally does all this yelling like for Fatima to wake up, even though Zach has already told her that Fatima was asleep. And of course, Fatima's like, let her up. And the crazy part is that Belinda already hopped on the phone. She already hopped on the phone and tried to tell Angela her side of the story to get ahead of Fatima saying the truth. And Angela had to find out from Fatima that no, Belinda was trifling. She came all the way over here to try to seduce Zach. And Angela, like I said, she always is super sweet, super nice. She's being too nice in this situation when it comes to this because she can't believe that Belinda would be this way. Like, oh my god, like we're friends. How could she do this? It's like easy. The same way y'all knew that Belinda was trifling in other ways. Like nothing has changed here. It seems like Belinda been trifling, but you keep letting it slide. Yeah, that's what it looks like, sweetheart. Um, what got me though was the fact that Bryce came with her. And I'm like, girl, why'd you bring Bryce here? So then, of course, we have a scene with Zach and Bryce having a conversation. Nothing was really going on there that I care to talk about. Oh, I just realized I forgot to mention that at some point, I want to say this was in episode 3, because now I kind of move on to episode 4. Um, Fatima ended up swabbing Zach's potential child's mouth because his so-called baby mama came over there. And her whole point is, I'm trying to get child support out of him before he even gets a DNA test. And I'm just like, in what state or court of law does that work? That you get child support, you get to collect child support before you do a DNA test. How does that make any sense, sweetheart? Please make it make sense. Like, oh, you sound stupid. But nonetheless, of course, that's the type of woman that Zach will lay down with. So I believe it. I believe that she would come up over there and still keep saying the same rhetoric of, I need to get my child support check first. I need to get my child support first. Girl, go sit down. Let's jump back on over to Zach and Fatima. So, as I said, Angela had to find out from Fatima the truth about Belinda and how that friendship is over. One thing that I did see that I really appreciated Tyler putting into this scene was, not into this scene, but into this whole situation, was Fatima like really crying, laying in bed, like being broken because losing your best friend, that hurts. Like, that is something that is not talked about as often as it should be. Most of the time, especially on TV shows, we only talk about breakups from men and partners. We never talk about how losing a friend really affects you, especially if this was someone who did you wrong, the way Belinda has done Fatima wrong. Um, I also appreciated the fact that when Angela came back downstairs, she did apologize to Zach because she jumped the gun. She trusted Belinda, of course, because, like she said, we've been friends for all these years. There's no way Belinda would do something like this. But Belinda was trifling, and Angela had to realize that I came in hot. I'm like yelling at this man, I'm being rude to this man in his house, all because my friend, she lied. But I do respect her for apologizing to Zach. So moving forward, we actually get a scene with Zach and Fatima. They're out on a run, and of course Zach can't keep up. Now this is where it gets real interesting. Fatima ends up bumping into her ex. Now this is the ex that we keep hearing about. This is the only ex that we've ever heard her mention. The guy who was dating her, was so in love with her. Next thing you know, he breaks up with her and marries another woman. So he wants to take her out for dinner. He wants to, meet up with her. And she's like, no, go meet up with that woman that you like left me for. Now this guy, he's like, oh, well, that didn't work out or whatever. It's like, okay, and what they got to do with me, sir? Fatima isn't here for it. Zach ends up walking up, and they're like, nope, we not doing dinner, sir. You have to find somebody else to go to dinner with. Um, but of course, that is not good enough for him because he ends up popping up at Fatima's job so that he can meet with her and have a conversation with her. Now, throughout this conversation that he has had with Fatima, it was pretty sad because now he has said that he has cancer, and I believe he said it was stage 3 or something like that. Here's the thing. So this is what happens a lot of times when people they get ill. Nobody wants to go out of here with bad blood with people. So now he's trying to right some of his wrongs, and of course he knows that he did Fatima wrong. He knows that for a fact. Um, they actually decide to go meet up. I think at like the coffee shop that's downstairs or something like that. So when they do meet up, he ends up telling her about him having cancer, how he did her wrong, how basically he wasn't the man that he should have been. He also wants her to go have a conversation with his mom, all this stuff, and he does apologize. My whole thing is this. I get it, you have cancer and you want to right your wrongs, but you cannot expect for someone who you treated badly to try to comfort you in your time of need. Like, y'all not friends no more. You're not in a relationship. Let Fatima be. You see she's happy somewhere else. You could have just left it at an apology. She don't need to go check in on your mama. That's not Fatima's job. Regardless of how much your mother may love Fatima, that ain't her job. I'm sorry, and that's where I stand with that. Now, one thing that I really liked about Fatima's whole process with talking to Ian is that Angela was kind of there the whole time as far as checking in with Fatima and be like, oh, I think you should, tell Zach about this and then go ahead and meet up with Ian and, oh my gosh, he has cancer. Uh do you need me to be there for you? All this stuff. I like the dynamic between Angela and Fatima because it's not like Fatima is like completely leaning on Angela in the way that sisters work, like those friendships work. Um, it's not like Angela tries to overstep. So I appreciate the bond between Fatima and Angela. I'm just trying to figure out where Angela works because her place was really nice. I want to say that may have been in episode 6 that we saw her place, or maybe that was Bryce's house. I'm not sure, but one of them, their house looked real nice, and I'm trying to figure out what she does because she surely did pop up at Fatima's job real quick. I'm just curious what Angela does. But one thing that I did want to circle back to was the fact that before Fatima even met up with Ian, Angela was like, is he lying about this, having cancer? Because, he's been a liar before. And Fatima was like, no, I don't think he will lie about this. Like, when he actually met up with Fatima and told her everything, I was extremely pissed off. Because, okay, he may not be lying about cancer or anything like that, but the fact that he married a woman for money, because this lady had money, and he knew that he could have fun with this other girl, but he wasn't going to have fun with Fatima, blows my mind. As if Fatima is some type of prude or something. And then when she had her moment to break down how she got pregnant by him, he made her have don't want to say that word on my channel. But he made her let go of the baby. And then for him to like leave her probably like a week or two later, girl, I would have never taken a meeting with him. Absolutely not. But Fatima is better than me. But oh, let me hop on over to Mr. Zach because I have not talked about him for a cool second. So, first off, we actually meet a character by the name of Deja. She's supposedly a nail tech by day, stripper by night, but that's something that we find out a little bit later in the next episode. And she's a possible tenant. This is a person who Valerie has suggested move in next door to Zach. The flirtation is there. She clearly is interested in Zach. He's not exactly turning an eye to her. At one point his boys come over, and I can't lie, Zach needs new friends. I'm telling you, I do not like Nate, especially. Like, he just ew, creep. So, um, we also happen to see Valerie at some point. I forgot to mention that. She's like, oh yeah, all of Deja's stuff checks out, like all her background, her credit, all that stuff checks out, so she's good to go. Again, why is Zach already trusting Valerie to handle all his real estate affairs? I'm not understanding. But whatever. So his boys are trying to get him to go to this party or whatever. Okay, fine, you want Zach to live a little, but I cannot stand Nate's approach. He's annoying. I need him to go like grow up because even like the way he talks about Fatima, I mean, he saw like a picture of her. It's like, dude, you kind of disrespectful. Like, chill out a bit. So his friend Tony ends up leaving to go get drinks or whatever so that they can pregame. I'm like, ain't y'all too old to be pregaming before a party? Ain't y'all bedtime at like, 8:30, 9 o'clock at this point? Y'all are in y'all late 30s. Chill out. So, um, like I said, Tony was gonna get drinks, but he also saw Fatima when she was out meeting with Ian, and he snapped a photo. So he comes back, he shows Nate the photo. Of course, Nathan, he tried to act up. So then they finally end up showing Zach the photo of Fatima and old boy. And of course, Nate talking trash yet again, while Tony is trying to be more so understanding, but not really. He wasn't helping the situation at all either. Because neither one of them said, you know what, Zach, maybe you should go have a conversation with Fatima so that you can get to the bottom of this and see what's going on. Nope, neither one of them said that. And I'm just like, both of y'all need to grow up. Again, don't care for those characters. But let's go ahead and move on. So, of course, Zach is upset. Zach is pissed off. Zach does not know what to do. We later see that Zach is taking a shower and Fatima is soaking in a bath. You can tell she is highly stressed. You can tell that Fatima is going through it internally. Now, Zach gets out the shower, and I must say, body blessed by God. By God. DeVal. DeVal. That's all I'm going to say. Anywho, as he's over there drying off or whatever and not putting any lotion on his body, but getting dressed, yeah, I noticed. He's asking Fatima questions about her day. You look like you've been crying. What's going on? You haven't been really speaking to me. Is this about Ian? Is this about what happened with Belinda? Like, what's going on? And you can tell that Fatima is so drained that she does not have the answers. She doesn't have anything to really give to Zach. And unfortunately, that makes him pissed off because he wants her to say, hey, I went out with Ian today. It was nothing. But that's not what happened. She never said, oh, I met up with Ian today. So he's pissed off. He's like, all right, well, I'm leaving. I'm going out with my boys. So now he's going out to this party. When I tell you Zach's friends look like the old man in the club, why are you there? Like, they're just cornballs, like absolute cornballs. So they're at this party or whatever, and Zach is like, this ain't really my scene. I don't want to be here, and all this stuff. I mean, it even got to the point where Bryce called to check in on him. And that was because Fatima ended up calling Angela and was like, hey girl, can you come over? So Angela went to go check on Fatima while she told Bryce to give Zach a call. I'm like, girl, why are you involving Bryce in Zach and Fatima's mess? Leave poor Bryce alone. But nonetheless, Bryce ends up calling Zach. Zach is like, I'm at this party. I don't want to be here, blah, blah, blah. He tells him to meet him at a diner that's not too far from the party. Y'all, Zach never made it to the diner. He never made it there. And that was because he ended up, when he was going to leave, he ended up saying his tenant, his future tenant, I would say. Well, by the end of the scene, actually, she became his tenant. But anyways, Deja has shown up. She's still flirting with Zach, telling him to come back into the party, letting him know that she's a nail tech by day and a stripper by night, blah, blah, blah. First of all, she pulls up in this big blue coat with like her floss underneath, and he cannot resist. So he goes back into the party. Baby girl, she, walks through the party, it's whatever. And next thing you know, we have the guy who was supposed to be his party. I think he was supposed to be like an athlete or something. Of course, they gave him a typical white girlfriend. And he's talking about he flew all the baddest strippers in town, and here they go, blase blah. So here goes Deja. She like swing around the pole a little bit, drop it low a little bit, grind on the pole or whatever she was doing. But the whole time she's looking at Zach. And Zach is like interested, okay? He was definitely interested. And his boys finally catch on, like, oh wait, that's the girl who's supposed to be moving in next door to you or whatever. And he's like, yeah. So the next time we see Zach, y'all, he is like toe up because his friends have been like, you need to let loose, you need to drink. Deja telling him the same thing. And at one point, when we meet back up with them, Zach ain't got no shirt on. Deja is sitting on his lap, all this stuff. And here come Bryce looking like the Asian father. Like, Zach, put your clothes on. It's time to go. He's like, Zach, you don't need to be here. It's time to go. Where's your shirt at? What got me was the fact that Deja was like, oh yeah, please take him. Please take him. And I'm like, girl, if you a stripper, you should be trying to make your money. Zach ain't tipping you. What are you doing? Why are you sitting on his lap? Oh, because you're comfortable. Oh, because you actually are interested in Zach. Oh, because you want him to be your man. Yeah, we'll see what happens when Fatima sees and hears all about this. So here we go. What got me was that instead of his boys helping him out the party, why was Deja like lifting him up and then handing him over to Bryce? I said, what is this? I cannot. Again, Tony and Nate, trash. But let's hop on over to Fatima because she has Angela over her house and she's just going on about what's happening with Ian and all this stuff. And here's the thing, I understand that Fatima is in her feelings about all this information that Ian has just put on her. Him having cancer, him apologizing, him realizing that he did her wrong, all this stuff. Like, it's a lot. And I can't lie, as much as earlier in this review, I was like, forget him and his mama. Like, I understand why um Fatima is so emotionally invested. She was in love with this man and he broke her heart. And on top of that, it doesn't seem like she got the proper closure. And then also learning that he will possibly be dying soon, that's extremely sad. Extremely sad. So I get it. But I just wish that she would have vocalized something to Zach. Like, babe, I can't really talk to you about it exactly right at this moment. I'm just trying to process everything. But she didn't do that. She didn't say anything. And now Zach is out here wilding a little bit. So next thing you know, her phone goes off. It's Belinda. She ain't checking the phone. Then Angela's phone goes off. And Angela checks her phone. And she's like not trying to answer, nothing like that. And that was out of respect for Fatima because that's who she's sitting with at the moment. And Fatima's like, no, check your phone. What she had to say, or whatever. Check her phone, and some type of way, Belinda has a photo of Zach at the party, and Deja is dancing all on him, and he is looking like he's having the time of his life, okay? So now Fatima's pissed off, and I'm like, Fatima, wait a second. You can't exactly be that pissed off because he tried to have a conversation with you and you were not budging. So we shall see how she reacts to this entire situation with, Zach out there partying. Now, let's talk about Zach's brother popping up. Zach's brother Jeremiah has popped up out of nowhere. He's checking out the house or whatever, asking like Fatima, who is she? And she's like, oh, I'm Fatima. He's never heard of Fatima. Clearly, we can see that Zach's brother has not talked to Zach in a while, and Zach has not talked to him, and Zach is not trying to talk to him. Because according to the brother, um, Zach needs to reach out to his mom or whatever. And Fatima's like, oh, like, is it something serious or anything? And he's like, no, he just needs to reach out. And next thing you know, he's like, oh, can he get Zach's phone number? And Fatima was like, you don't have his phone number? He's like, nah. So Fatima was like, no, I can't give you his phone number, which I'm glad that she didn't because you don't know what the relationship is. If this man doesn't even know who you are to Zach, then you definitely should not be giving out his phone number because they have an estranged relationship. And then on top of that, he was trying to come in the house. Like, that's weird. How you gonna try to come up in this house? It's only Fatima there. Like, he doesn't know that Angela's there because he couldn't see her. And Zach's not home. Dude, come back later. I don't know. It was something very eerie and creepy about Zach's brother. I don't trust him at all. I feel like he's about to try to get money out of Zach. Something's not right. But overall, these past 4 episodes, I will say they kept my attention. I like the pace of the show. Um, it's just so different watching these two characters have a whole universe outside of Sisters because Sisters, the pace is really slow. It takes us 5 days for one day to go by, and there's a lot happening on this show. There's some stuff that I think is happening way too fast, like Zach having Deja move in, him meeting Valerie. Um, just so much is happening, but it's keeping my attention, so I'm rocking with it. Go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what y'all thought about these episodes. I know this review is super late. Hopefully some of y'all will pay attention to it. Cause I really wonder what y'all thought about Zatima. Yeah, go ahead and drop that down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought. I will be dropping my other review for the last 4 episodes right after this one. So stay tuned. I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bye guys.